Well, joining me now is Dr. Vivek Trivedi, the co-chair of the BMA's Junior Doctors Committee. Dr. Vivek, thank you so much for talking to us. So, have you received that letter, and are you going to meet Mr. Barclay next week?
Yes, we've had correspondence from Mr. Barclay's office, and we're in the process of setting up a meeting early. The earlier the better, because like most people in this country, we want to work towards bringing this dispute to an end as quick as possible.
So does that mean that junior doctors will no longer be striking at all because you have this negotiation planned?
So at the moment, we haven't called for any further strike action. We are going into this meeting openly with good faith, and we hope that Mr. Barclay also does the same. And in fact, we've been writing to him for months, over 150 days we've first written to him. So although it's sad that it's taken so long for him to respond to hopefully coming to meaningful talk, we of course welcome it, because that's been our position this whole time. If it seems that he is coming in bad faith or is not prepared to work towards a credible offer that we can put to our members, then we do reserve the right to call for further industrial action.
What would that mean to you if he came to those talks in bad faith? What would that represent?
So you know, I mentioned we've written to him for so long and had virtually no response from him. For him to initially reply to us on the Friday before our strikes, asking for us to call off the strikes without an offer on the table, and previously with no mandate to negotiate, that's bad faith. He's just trying to kick the can down the road. And what we want to do is we want to be able to put an offer to our members that our members will be happy with, ultimately, so that we can bring this dispute to an end.
Has he made an offer?
No.
So why are you agreeing to talks now?
Because we've been open to talk the whole time. Actually, because we want to be able to work towards an offer, and we hope that by entering into these talks, we do get an offer to take to our members that they'll be happy with.
So what's changed between now and then? Why are you saying now, yeah, let's talk?
Well, that's exactly it. It's not us that's changed. It's Mr. Barclay. We've been open to talk this whole time, but now he's ready. So we were ready to enter talks before, we're ready to enter talks now, and we'll be ready to enter talks in the future. But it's Mr. Barclay that's been stalling us this whole time.
Given that we've had this fresh offer for nurses and ambulance workers, are you optimistic now that junior doctors are also going to be given a deal?
It's positive that the other unions and Mr. Barclay have been able to have talks. It was obviously not in my position to talk on what those members should do. That's up to them for their votes. I do hope that we can work towards an arrangement. Of course, unions have had, healthcare sectors have had varying levels of real terms pay cuts. So I hope that he brings us something that will be acceptable to our members.
Let's talk about what you think will be acceptable to your members, because you're asking for a 35% pay rise, aren't you? Do you think that's reasonable and achievable?
So we're asking for a 35% uplift, and that's only to restore our pay, because we've had our pay slashed by more than 26% over the last 15 years. So all we want to do is to restore that to come back to net neutral. And do we think this is reasonable and achievable? Of course, this is actually a drop in the ocean for the government. This will cost them roughly £1 billion or so, which is less than 0.1% of their national budget. And what that actually translates to for my doctor colleagues is a doctor who's on £14 an hour, they'll be on £19 an hour. So it's not breaking the bank at all for the government, but it will help work towards fixing this workforce crisis that we have, to retain the doctors that we need.
Sorry to jump in, but they say it's just not affordable.
Well, of course it's affordable. The government can choose to spend money where it wants to. We've seen them spend billions through COVID, 30 billions or so on test and trace, 4 billion or so wasted on unusable PPE that was burnt. So it's a political choice, and they want you to think that they can't afford it. But ultimately, it's the government's decision to appropriately fund a healthcare system and pay fair wages, or be honest with the public about the poor standards of care that come as a result of underpayment to its workers.
Well, as I said, they say it's not affordable, 35%. Would you accept 5% and a lump sum payment?
That agreement would not be acceptable to our members, because we've lost, as I mentioned before, a more than 26% real terms pay cut, and all we're looking to do is to restore that pay. That's the mandate that was given to us. by our ballot, which was unprecedented. You know, the doctors have spoken. They're angry and they want to get this fixed.